All right, guys. We're live Music Maniacs right now. Dr. Brown. Here, I'm going to share this on the channel. But we do have obviously the Rush news, huge Rush news we got to get to. And then obviously the huge. There's a lot of other news too, Brown. But the Gene Simmons car crash, I want to get to first, if you don't mind. And then I obviously we'll pick our brains on this Rush thing. But here, let me send this out on the stream. And when did you hear? Did you hear about this Gene Simmons crash yesterday or?
No, I didn't find out until you DM'd me the details. I looked it up on blabbermouth.net, which I have on my computer right now. And funny thing, uh, you also sent me something from TMZ, something about Simmons saying his wife should not be behind the wheel. And the first thing that came to my mind was all those old cartoons from the 1930s, 40s, making fun of women drivers. You look at the Flintstones, the Jetsons, and how terrible women drivers are at times. I remember seeing a car with a big dent in it, and somebody wrote on it, "Women drivers," pointing to the dent. And that's one of the first things that came to my mind. And then I looked on the article courtesy of Blabbermouth, and it says here apparently
Uh-oh.
Mr. Simmons was either passed out or fainted behind the wheel when he struck a parked car. And that kind of surprised me. It's like, what the heck happened? How did he happen to faint? He's not a drinker nor a drug addict or any of that. So this kind of surprises me for a little bit there. Or was he just that overtired?
Uh, Let me see here. I'm having some technical issues.
All right. All right, Dallas. So let me read your article courtesy of blabbermouth.net. It says, according to NBC4 Los Angeles, Kiss bassist, vocalist,
Wow.
co-founder is recovering at home after he allegedly passed out behind the wheel of his car and crashed on the Pacific Coast Highway in Malibu, California. Simmons, age 70, told responding deputies that he either passed out or fainted while he was behind the wheel. That's when he struck a parked car. A spokesperson for the Lost Hills Sheriff's Station told People magazine that the accident happened just before 1 p.m. this past Tuesday, October 7th, and involved, quote, a vehicle that struck a parked vehicle. Now, the driver of the car that Simmons struck was transported to a hospital by the LA County Fire Department for further treatment. That's what the spokesperson said.
Oh, so Simmons did then. Simmons actually
Yes,
ran
he
into
did.
the person.
Yes, he did. Now, the thing I want to know is how was he able to get behind the wheel? All of a sudden, boom! Was he overtired, or was he sleepy? Or if he's sleepy, you just pull over the side and take a short nap. If the cops come,
Well, yeah,
explain the whole theory.
okay, so this was in LA, Los
Yeah,
Angeles, or
Malibu, California. That's where the Simmons family currently lives. Now, Gene's wife, Shannon, told the press that the musician is recovering at home, noting that doctors had recently changed his medication and told him to drink more water, which he's not particularly fond of.
you would think if you're
Gene
rich
has,
enough, Brian, you think if
yeah.
you're rich enough, you hire your own chauffeur, your own driver around. Number one, I mean, wouldn't you? You know what I mean? You're
Well,
rich enough,
better
like
yet,
Simmons.
well, if he's going to be passing out behind the wheel because of whichever medication he was prescribed, probably best to have a chauffeur or his wife or whichever behind the wheel or one of his kids. He has his son Nick. I mean, like, don't get behind the wheel or on certain medications that's going to make you nod off and faint behind the wheel, let alone in your household. That's very dangerous. Or better yet, they should look into the medications that Simmons was prescribed
And
because
you saw
there's some.
On TMZ, yeah, I'm having to come in and out because it's not showing both of our images or whatever or our video. So I'm having to come in and slightly interrupt you. But just to say
Mm.
this, even TMZ is picking this up with the wife, which I thought they were divorced. I thought it was similar, like
No, they're still together.
The Gene Simmons marital situation is kind of similar to the Hulk Hogan marital situation, where they had that same wife for years, and maybe like in the
Yep.
2000s there was some
Mhm.
rocky moments, especially with they both did their reality show around the same time, huh?
Yes, Gene Simmons Family Jewels. And basically, Shannon Tweed, that's her name before she finally married Simmons.
You can
They
hear
were
me right now?
together for a minute. Yes, I can hear you
All right,
all
good. I
the
got it.
way.
I fixed it. All right, I
Now,
fixed it.
good, good. Now, Gene and Shannon, they've had this relationship for multi amount of years where it was okay for Gene to bang some other chick. But I don't know about Shannon banging some other dude on the side, if you want to call it an open relationship or whatever. But basically, she's giving him a hall pass, if I'm correct, to finally bang other chicks. Knowing Gene Simmons' need for pussy. And
Mm.
I guess they finally in the 2000s they finally did get married, because you may remember Gene Simmons for years said marriage was an institution, and which pissed off Paul Stanley, because Paul Stanley is happily married with children and all that. In fact, because of that remark, Paul didn't invite Gene to his wedding.
Really?
Yeah, exactly. I remember
When
Paul
did
had
Gene get
explained.
married to Shannon Tweed?
I'm not too sure. Let me look it up.
'Cause remember, she was like, it was
What?
kind of like open, like she knew he was always doing the backstage. What are they called? Groupies and
Groupies.
everything.
Yes.
Like she always knew he was like open, like sexually like that. You can't fucking be, she's the one who chose to like be with him. I don't. There's no sympathy there with her for. You knew where you're getting if you're dating Gene Simmons. You're being. I mean, again, very similar to the Hulk Hogan marital situation, to where like they both took so much, and Hogan was doing
Yep.
doing the
Other women
nasty,
and
and I
shit.
mean
Doing the
everyone does. I
dirty,
mean
as you used to call it.
Donald Trump even did that, for Christ's sakes, right? I mean, if you believe
Yeah,
that
but
he,
of
I mean, come
course,
on,
when you're high and mighty as Trump, Simmons are,
Tiger
you're
Woods.
Tiger Woods as well. It's like everybody feel. I don't know if it's the ego that gives it the boost to go out with other chicks, or it's the attraction of the other
Well,
chicks.
bro, imagine like it kind of similar to how me and you with the Judas Priest concert, when those like there are about three or four chicks,
Yes, I remember.
older
Yeah,
women, definitely, they're in their
my
50s,
age.
your
Yeah, my
age,
age
but
as
I
well.
was
Yeah,
still, we were both kind of scoring on them. They were good looking or whatever. And even like that,
yeah,
imagine if we went home with them that night, bro.
yeah. I
Imagine if they were
remember
like,
we.
hey, me and my girlfriends, we got the Hilton Hotel over here in downtown. Would y'all stop by and party with, drink some drinks? And
Yeah, I'd love
uh,
to if I didn't
that's
have to
what
be
these,
back for my job.
well, no, I know, but like that's what the Gene Simmons, the Tiger Woods, and others, they get these offers from these women. It's like drinking water, bro. It's nothing. It's like they're getting hundreds of offers to do these women over the years, man. And
Yep,
who's really gonna not say? Who's gonna say no? No one's gonna say
exactly,
no, bro. I mean, when you're
exactly.
in that,
Yes.
come on, man. But
No, the little.
this
Go
is
ahead.
why I can't believe, well, I can't believe this wasn't on like major news. Obviously, he didn't die or nothing. But is there anything in those articles? Because I literally just found this out when I sent it to you. I could go through the run through of Blabbermouth and see the news. But
Yeah.
did you see anything where like did he get injured, or did he get
Does
anything popping up on
It
that?
doesn't say, but going back to when Gene Simmons got married, it was October 1st, 2011. That's
Hmm.
when they finally tied the knot.
See, that's still like kind of recent. Um, what
Yeah,
about
something like that.
let's see. Well, you know about Ace Frehley falling down and having injury, and now this Gene Simmons injury. I don't know if there's a
Yeah.
pattern going on with the Kiss people, but look, when you get into, I don't know, how is Gene Simmons past his 70s yet, or is he still in his
Yes, he
60s?
is. He's 76 years old,
Oh
and
Jesus! Wow, what God? Once you
it
start getting
says
in your 70s, those injuries are worse. More
yeah.
frail. The
In
body.
2023, Simmons made headlines after suffering dehydration during one Kiss performance in Brazil. The Kiss co-founder became very ill on stage, prompting the band to pause the show. Now, Simmons also suffers from the heart condition, what is called arterial fibrillation, I guess it's pronounced, which he previously said he manages with both rest and fluids. In the 2016 interview with the Doctors, a TV show, I'm sure you heard of that, the Gene did state that he was first diagnosed with this condition, saying, quote, I never heard of the term what's it called, AFib. But about 10 years ago, we were on tour someplace and stage the temperature goes up to around 100 with all the stage lights, and my
Yeah,
heart starts
that's
pounding really
true.
quickly. I start to get dizzy and perspire and short of breath. So I called the doctor. He showed up and he said, okay, here's what's going on. There's something called AFib. He went down the list and it was a lot to take in. Now, Gene and Paul Stanley are scheduled to perform without their traditional makeup during next month's Kiss Cruise Landlocked in Vegas event, set to take place this coming November on between November 14th and
Yeah, this is
16th,
huge.
2025 at the Virgin Hotels in Vegas.
No drummer has been announced on that yet, and
Or
in the
their lead
inside,
guitarist,
and the other, well, the word is that what was what was the last drummer for Kiss? What was his name?
Eric Singer.
Singer, yeah. So they're waiting for, like, you kind of waiting for a deal to be made, is what people are saying. Like, that's why he's not advertised, and most people think it's going to be him anyway. I mean, why would I mean? This is the type of thing where it's like, bro, this is where you need to bring in your Ace Frehleys. You need to bring in your Peter Chris's. Even if
Yep,
it's for
exactly.
Q&A, maybe one song. I mean, we're not asking the guys to pay a full Kiss set, but like, we need those moments. The past 20 years, ever since they brought in those guys, replacing with just the face paint, was wrong,
I
and
know.
Kiss
Yeah,
fans didn't like, you know what I'm saying?
I never agree with it myself. It's like, wait a minute. What about, doesn't Ace Frehley own the rights to his face makeup or Peter Chris as well?
Ah,
Turns
they
out they
sold.
purchased.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sold it. Yeah, no, I realized, like, wait a minute. Holy cow. But then again, like I said, so many people identify Kiss with their identities: the Star Child, the Demon, the Starman, the Catman. Any other image would not do. When we think of Kiss, we think of those individuals, not the Creatures of the Night lineup with the Ankh Warrior and the Foxman, or the non-makeup Kiss.
Well, that's why Eddie Trunk hasn't had any interviews. I mean, but he's had definitely Ace in 1,000 times, because like he basically, like, when Ace did his solo, when Ace started doing a solo record or something, like, Eddie Trunk was like his, like, manager, producer, like
Mhm.
something like that, to where he put, same as Metallica, Eddie Trunk was the first to spin their records, early on
Mhm.
the East Coast. But like, Kiss doesn't allow Gene or Paul to do, and Eddie Trunk's the number one guy for rock interviews and blah blah blah. So yeah, and because Eddie Trunk was vocal against the face paint being replaced back then, and they never,
Exactly.
there's been a few events where Eddie Trunk's hosted, and Gene has been there. Nothing bad has been said, but it's definitely a Paul thing. Like, Paul Stanley is definitely the douchebag in the Kiss
Yeah.
camp. I mean, people say what they
Because
say about
Eddie,
Ace, but Ace is sober now. He doesn't drink. I mean, that was the big problem. Oh, he drinks. Ace Frehley, big drunk, but he's old. All this, like I said, bro, when you get in your 70s, man, like, and again, both Kiss members, Ace Frehley, involved in a fall. It's a couple weeks back, where he actually canceled the rest of the tour. I mean,
wow.
probably 5 to 8 tour dates left this year. It wasn't like a big 20 or 30 day, but he did. Yes, it did. I don't know if you heard about that. Even, yeah, Ace Frehley
Wow.
had a
I
fall,
know I heard
but
that there.
then he
Yes.
canceled, like, that night show or something. But then, like, this last week, it came out, yeah, like, they canceled the rest of the tour. Ace just does the
Wow.
fly-in dates anyway. It's not like he's driving around in a
How
bus and stuff.
how
But
serious was this? How serious was this fall?
That's
Maybe
right. Well,
like damage his
type it
knee
in
to the backs.
here. Type it in and see what you can find on it real quick. Because I don't know what part of the body damage. Sometimes they don't release that info. Maybe they did it by now. But like I said earlier, when you get into your 70s, Brown, taking falls, bruising, bleeding, it's a different than than when you're younger. Like a small little bruise can end up being huge mark on your body, or obviously cracked bones can be broken easier, and then when you get in your 70s, man, that's like your life expectancy. That's like the limit. I mean, yeah, Gene Simmons and them, they didn't do drugs back in the day, and they didn't, drinking and drugs was not their thing
Yes,
publicly.
and
It's
it's
what they stated publicly. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
got Consequences Sound right now up, and it says, Ace Frehley canceled his remaining 2025 tour dates due to medical issues. The following statement was posted by the 74-year-old rocker on his Facebook page this past Monday, saying, due to ongoing medical issues, Gay Ace has made the difficult decision to cancel the remainder of his 2025 dates. Now, the cancellations affect a handful of Midwest U.S. dates in October, come 2 weeks since Fraley nixed an appearance at the Antelope Valley Fair in Lancaster, California, after suffering a minor fall in the studio, resulting in a trip to the hospital.
Oh, he fell in the studio, so it's not even like
Mhm.
he was screwing around in the garden at home and fell in his garden or something. This was in it. That's even worse, bro. Like you can't even
Oh,
get around in the
this
studio properly.
Guarded. When you mentioned Guarded, I thought about that one Spinal Tap drummer who died from a gardening accident.
I'm
It was
serious. No,
not.
you know what I mean. Though,
I
like I
know.
thought it
I
was
know.
like he
Yeah.
was at. I thought Ace was at home and he, fell over some stairs or was, fell over in the garage or something. Like this was in the studio. Oh my God.
Yeah.
How does a fall
Now,
work? When have you ever seen anyone fall randomly? Like motherfuckers face plant a lot. Like you can land on your face, you break your nose. I mean, to cancel the rest of
plus
the
you need.
tour.
Yeah. I
Like
know. Said.
imagine. I mean, definitely like either like something with his face screwed up or like a broken bone, perhaps, would be the only cancellations for like when you start canceling tours. That's like a big hassle. Not only the fans are traveling and paying money to see, but like you're getting a lot of these fly-in dates like Ace does and other people. They don't tour with their amps and stuff like what's I don't know the right word for it, but whoever is taking care of
Equipment.
the equipment, like the equipment's usually rented. Besides guitars, they bring in their own guitars, obviously, but your Marshall
Yes.
stacks, your microphone stands, microphones, everything, all that's rented, all that's already there waiting on stage. I mean, the Stephen Piercy stuff, they all do that too. All these flying days, these people aren't riding around in a tour bus touring. There's people that are flying in to specific locations. Now the crew, or the rest of the band might be in a bus, but Ace's tour really isn't like 30-40 date tours. They're sparingly random around the US, like in little
Yeah.
halls, little music centers and festivals here and there. So like there's a difference from like a 30-40 date tour. Like Rush isn't. I mean, we'll get into the Rush show. That's a whole nother deal. That's
Yeah. We
literally
gotta
what the.
talk about that. That's for sure. Because this is
I want to close. I
big
want to
news
close.
here.
I want to close on the Kiss stuff. I mean, they obviously Kiss needs their proper time for us to talk about them, obviously. But this Rush stuff, what we're going to get into, folks, is so wild. Over 80 people watching right now. We do want you to subscribe, tap that bell, tap the like button, and go to Dr. Earl W. Brown's channel right now. Subscribe to him. He does these live weekend. Sometimes he does it during the week, maybe holiday
Mhm.
season and stuff. He does it some during the week, but maybe like a Halloween night DJ set. I don't know if Halloween
Yes.
night is on the weekend this year or not, but he
Well,
does.
it's on a
Brown, you do
Friday.
these. It is on a Friday.
Yes, and
Nice.
what I got planned for this weekend, let me alert the audience
Yeah, plug
watching.
your DJ
Tomorrow,
set. Tell them what you do on that.
well, tomorrow, this coming Saturday night, I have my very first hardcore techno set. That'll be premiering on my channel at 9 p.m. Eastern. tomorrow night, you should be interested in this, YR. Me and Prince Idol will once again be live discussing a whole range of discussions and topics and all that. We had a brief talk on Facebook the night before discussing what we'd be talking about, and Prince had a lot to get off his chest. So definitely, we got to dig into these subjects tomorrow night. Me and Prince Idol. You may remember that
Is he
last
back
Friday.
in? Is he in Vegas?
Yes, he is in
Oh my
Vegas. He left
God!
Texas for Vegas, due to some
But he loves
serious
it.
issues that he had. Oh,
No,
definitely.
Vegas is the entertainment capital of the world. Like people say, New York is badass. New York, Manhattan. I don't know if you ever been around people like New York is definitely the hype is there for New York, but like Vegas, bro,
Vegas,
you can
yes.
see 5 different concerts every night there. I mean,
I
so like this
know.
person, Amsterdam in the chat says it's like the Celine Dion. We booked to see her in Vegas, flights from UK and hotel, and she canceled, was gutted. So yeah, like go
Wow.
back to the Ace Frehley thing.
Mhm.
Um, to be honest with you, when I saw him a couple years ago, it was only like a couple hundred people, but it was like a small music hall. Like it was packed. It was definitely packed, bar, but very some of these venues, folks, that these people go to, it's not just stadiums and arenas. Like there's music venues that are small, like kind of like me and Brown saw with Judas Priest, where I mean, mostly it's standing. There's seats, but it's definitely VIP upgrade, $350 seats. What you're looking at, but like a lot of these music halls and music venues, Ace Frehley was at, Judas Priest was at, they're very small, but they get packed. That's the thing. Like when you get there early and you're like, oh man, there's like 20 people here. What's going on? But like when it's time, when it's 9 o'clock, when the headliner hits, these places get packed. Okay. Um, but I mean, even tonight, real quick, the pays to wait. Keith Urban,
Mhm.
$22 to get into the Keith Urban show tonight, folks, and that's from the
Wow.
resellers. Brown, that's the resellers putting the price lower because they can't sell their, because and these are nosebleeds, but like your nosebleed was what, $50 or something, I don't know, for just to get in, do Ticketmaster, and then the reseller gets a hold of that $50 ticket and probably charges like 75, but
Mhm.
no one was biting it. So closer to the date goes, they drop. I mean, it's 20. I mean, there's people doing them for $16. Keith Urban is definitely a country rock act. I mean, look, he does play guitar, and he's definitely a rock fan. Eddie Trunk's trying to get him
Yeah.
on the show. He
Yeah.
hasn't done it yet, but your Keith Urban. I mean, I'm not going out of my way to go see it. I'm just saying that the pays to wait stuff. And to close on that, we got to get into this Rush thing, but
Yeah.
the Nine Inch Nails. I don't know if you saw the video I put up, but
Not
so
yet.
what they're doing is this last tour, the first leg of the Peel It Back tour. They did play the Texas area, the Fort Worth area. They played the same arena that Rush is going to play at, that Creed was at, Maiden was at.
Ah,
It's the better arena. But the second leg, Nine Inch Nails is playing the NBA arena. The place where I go see the
mm,
hockey games, the
I
AAC
see.
big arena. So they're doing these bigger arenas, which means there's going to be more tickets available, which there is. Tickets went on sale yesterday, but there's tons of tickets available today. Um, Compared to the last thing, I mean, it was. I mean, wow, we're talking like 220 bucks. You can get on the floor. It's going to be way in the back, but you're going to be on the floor. We're looking at $220 to see Nine Inch Nails in 2020. This will be next year, 2026 in March, but $220 to get on the floor to see Nine Inch Nails at a professional arena, but it's going to be way in the back on the floor. Keep in mind these are professional arenas, so that floor is going to be super long, super long. I mean, the size of a ice hockey arena, the size of a NBA basketball court. It's going to be very long. The There is a GA, Brown. There is a pit, a huge. It's pretty much like half the floor. Which that might be and those you can't buy on Ticketmaster right now. I don't know if they're all sold out. I don't know if it's an exclusive thing through Nine Inch Nails, but
Mhm.
like my a couple hundred is fair to me, but when you start getting into the 300s, and when that's not even like close to the stage, when it's like way in the back, that's not good to me. That's not okay. I mean, for the nosebleeds, Brown, right now for Nine Inch Nails, they're $60. They're sixty
Ah,
dollars. You can get in the damn building and see Nine Inch Nails for $60, 1,000%, yes. So, and now we've seen it all. I mean, we've been far away, we've been close. Obviously, the closer when you're closer to the stage, it's a way different experience. It's almost like the band's just playing for you. And you look back and there's a huge crowd. I mean, it's a different experience for sure. And you pay the price for that experience. It's why there's $60 tickets and 300, and 300 is the highest price on that. And I'm still saying that's fair. You know, there's prices out there, $500, $600, $700 for shit. There's WWE prices, 500 on the floor. I mean, there's prices that people do pay. I mean, this Paul McCartney concert is dropping the day of. People are getting too weird with the resale, and yeah, I mean, people are able to go see Paul McCartney for $20, $30 right now if they wait. Brown. I think he was in Vegas or something. I think he was doing a thing. Residency. He was doing something. I don't know if he was touring around or if he was doing the same place a couple times. But there's definitely, yeah, you could get into Paul McCartney $25, $30 right now if you wait. But that's how it rolls.
Speaking of concert price, concert tickets going up, I have the same article from a Blabbermouth on .net. Well, basically, this was recommended to me on whenever I was reading the Gene Simmons information. It says here, guitarist Michael Ahmad from the band Arch Enemy spoke about the rising prices of concert tickets. According to a recent report by Polestar, concert tickets have seen an overall 27.38% increase in cost since 2019. This data also shows a worldwide increase in concert ticket pricing, with the average ticket cost ranging around $40.80 at club venues to about $124.47 at stadiums. In 2014, the average cost to attend a concert was $155, with 92 cents added. Now, Polestar, 32. Yeah, Polestar recently reported that that's up from 1996, when the average ticket cost was about $25.81. Now, the guitars.
So, like in the '90s, '90s, basically, like $100 ticket in the '90s was your first row.
Pretty much, basically. Yes.
$100 get your first row, whatever, in the '90s. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I guess you could say there.
Well, now the trick. What did you heard? The Kid Rock came out. I don't know. You should when you're off the show, whatever, go to his Twitter or whatever. Kid Rock. He's talking about this ticket thing, and how he wants. There's so many middlemen. Like Kid Rock wants Ticketmaster and all them to go away, to where you can just, the artist sets the price for the fans.
Yep.
And because Live Nation owns everything. Live Nation controls everything. Live Nation.
Wow.
It's all about Live Nation, and it's this big. I mean, obviously, in StubHub, all them Live Nation owns. Live Nation owns obviously Ticketmaster, but even the third-party sites, the resale, like it's all under the Live Nation banner, bro. It's all one umbrella, and comparing to back in the day where you can go on the side of the venue and there's to be a guy selling tickets. I don't know if you ever bought tickets that way. The guy selling, outside of the venue, and there's some guy selling tickets.
Scalpers.
Yeah, that's not really a
that's
thing.
That's what
nowadays.
They were called. Yeah.
Because they have it's all digital, Brown. As you know, it's all digital barcodes now. There's no. I mean, there's paper tickets. If you go up to the box office last minute, I'm sure they give you paper tickets then.
In fact, a friend of mine on Facebook back in Michigan, she got a paper ticket to see the legendary Dionne Warwick perform at a recent Detroit venue many months ago. But back to what it kind of, I'm going to read you a little paragraph the guitarist from Arch Enemy spoke. He said, quote unquote, "The musician is always the last person to get paid. There is a whole chain. There's a whole line of people that get paid before we do. And that's something that people have to think about as well. These venues are expensive. They're expensive to start with, and there's a PA, there's catering, there's trucks, there's so many things involved. It's crazy. And the prices, the costs
Yeah,
have
bands
gone
don't just
up.
show up. Bands don't just like, like, hey, listen, no, this is a lot. There's management, there's producers, there's
Sound man, security,
handlers. Yeah,
crew. Yeah, exactly. Like
even
insurance
for the
just in
little
case
shits,
something
like
happened.
even for like the little Ace Frehley shows and the little smaller rock shows, obviously Stephen Piercy shows. Like, there's a lot that these people have been doing this stuff for years. These entertain these musicians, so like them on stage, it's like nothing to them. So
Yeah.
that's not like the issues. Like, we're talking travel, we're talking. I mean, there's a lot that goes to it, and
Tour
now
expensive, hotel stays included as
everything.
well. Hiring of security guards, so make sure that no fights break out and shit. There's a lot that goes into these tours. A lot of money being paid. Like food, rest. You name it. There, hotels, motels, you name it. There's a lot that goes in. A lot of money goes in, and let's not forget, as I mentioned, insurance for the venue, just in case a riot happens in the mid-song that the band is playing. Remember what happened with Guns N' Roses in St. Louis, 1991? I can imagine the insurance for that may have been way through the roof.
Millions, bro.
Exactly.
Let's see here. I guess that's I guess we can get into the Rush stuff. When did you? I mean, there's really two parts to this Rush story. There's the huge announcement that they're coming back, but like the announcement yesterday of the multiple shows, they're doing 4 shows. Now there's only
In
like
each city.
there's only like
Yes, they
6 or 7 cities. There's not but this ain't like a huge world blowout tour. This is this very selective, rare, which means this we'll find out tomorrow when the tickets do the
go on
pre-sale.
sale. Yes, and
But
everybody has heard the news. Rush, Geddy Lee, and Alex Lifeson had announced that next year they'll be back on the road as Rush. They have a drummer in tow. Her name is Nikita Niles. She hails from Germany, and I've seen videos of her playing. And you know what? I believe she could do the job. I believe that she could possibly do Neil Peart proud.
you saw? Did you ever hear of this chick before this? And then
Not yet. When I first got the announcement that you sent me, I was like, "Oh, who's going to be the drummer? Is he this person going to be top notch like Neil Peart was?"
yeah,
And
everyone was saying like it's gonna be the drummer from Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's gonna be the drummer from Dream Theater, but it was no male drummer. It was a female drum. But this chick is like famous. Like, she's one of them YouTube musicians where she just
yes,
wild stuff. It's really good and stuff. I haven't seen her do any Rush. I don't know
yeah, but
if that's out there, but definitely you can tell like the I really don't know drum lingo too well, but like she definitely you could tell like, yeah, she can do she's gonna do it. She's gonna do it really good. You know what I'm saying? Like
yes,
the
like I said,
fills,
I've
the
seen
drum
video of
feel,
her.
the drum. They call
Yeah,
it the drum fills. Like listening to her fills and stuff, like really quick. Like she can be on one drum and then go, on another. Like it really like how pure it was. So yes, this is. But the only lame thing about this whole thing, it's not lame. It's just, I guess it is what it is with musicians that are older. Like, it's not going to be the three of them. There will be an extra keyboard player. So
yes, I
Geddy
was
Lee will
getting into
mostly,
that as well.
yeah, Geddy Lee's mostly going to be on bass and obviously vocals. But
Vocals.
they did state that yes, he obviously the big parts of the keyboard like Tom Sawyer and I'm sure maybe subdivisions that Geddy will play those parts on keyboard. Yes, but
Okay.
it's going to be like some added members on there. It's just not going to be those two guys and the chick. But kind of like how Sammy Hagar was doing. He brought in his last tour. He brought in a backing vocalist and a keyboard player and guitar player.
That was David Lee Roth.
Well, no, Hagar did too. He brought in that Thistleweight guy from Australia. I mean, I saw the tour. It was it was uh it was the drummer's son from Zeppelin, Bonham.
John
on
Bot,
drums. It
Jason
was
Bottom,
yeah,
and
Jason
Joe
Bonham on drums,
Satriani on guitar.
Satriani guitar, and then obviously vocals. It was Sammy, and then
Michael
obviously on
Anthony
bass,
on bass on
Michael Anthony on
backing
bass. But
vocals.
yeah, they had a fifth guy. He was on he was playing the keyboards for all those.
Mhm.
They were
Yes.
playing all that Van Halen stuff, and then he was doing backing vocals, and on some songs he's playing guitar too, like rhythm guitar. But
Yes.
yeah, these people are bringing in these people who are definitely younger, but can do it. I mean, there's clones of drums, bass, guitar, vocals everywhere. Where there's tribute bands, people on YouTube, everything. There's clones that sound just like the players themselves nowadays. Anyway, so I mean, that's where we're getting. I mean, look, if if Zeppelin came back, they're going to have some extra guys on there. You know what
A
I'm
little
saying?
bit there.
They're
One
going to
or
have. I
two,
mean,
maybe.
look at Rolling Stones. Look at Guns N' Roses nowadays. It's not just
Fleetwood Mac as
and
well.
they have added people on stage to make the kind of fill out that sound live.
Pink, Pink Floyd
Pink
included.
Floyd, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just.
Yes.
I mean, it's kind of what I'm saying. Like, especially when they're
And
older.
The Who as well.
But they are calling it Rush. They are calling this thing. Yeah, the Who. They are calling this Rush. Okay,
Yeah, the
and
Rock 50 Something Tour. It's to celebrate 50 years of their music, their legacy, and also pay homage to, of course, Neil Peart. And by the way, Lifeson and Lee did get the permission from both Neil's widow and his daughter to do this task. It's okay with those two there. So obviously, boom, it's all ready to roll. And the dates, you said, just got more dates were added up without a question. Of course, obviously, we're not surprised because this is a big deal. 4 nights in Los Angeles, 1 night in Mexico City, 4 nights in Fort Worth, Texas, 2 nights in Chicago, Illinois. Actually, no, let me take that back. 4 nights in Chicago, 4 nights in New York, New York, 4 nights in Toronto, and 2 in Cleveland, Ohio.
yeah, this is
7 days.
what Taylor Swift and Oasis and huge bands do. They do these multi-night deals. And look, that also should tell you that, yeah, there are some people saying, in the past tours, Geddy Lee struggled vocally, but if you go back to the Taylor Hawkins tribute, I mean, it was fine. Geddy Lee and
Yep.
Alex Lifeson
Yeah, I saw
went up
that.
there. And plus, if they're booking these multiple dates, like, that's the least of our concerns is how they're going to sound. It's going to be grade A. It's going to be 100%, like, obviously live, but it's Rush is known for pristine, great shows. You know what I'm saying? Very high class. No bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, have you ever seen Rush live?
I never did, no,
Ah.
unfortunately. But I
Yeah,
remember
they're
now.
they're not doing
But I
any
remember.
Florida dates, but they're
Oh,
doing
I
these
know
multiple
this.
dates.
Yeah.
These are like mini residencies, Brown. Like, these are meant, like, fans can fly. Obviously, your local fans can see the shows multiple times if the price is right too. But fans are gonna be flying in to see this, traveling
Oh,
to see this. This is
obviously,
real.
this is Rush. This is a big deal. I mean, Rush has been a big deal for how many years now? The influence, the musicianship, you name it, the dynamics that in their sound, their songs, their live performances. This is going to be multi-huge because finally we get to see Alex and Geddy back on the road once again, paying homage to not only their legacy but also to their fallen bandmate.
If they would have brought in the drummer from Dream Theater, if they would have brought in the drummer from Red Hot Chili Peppers, or even Tool, right? I mean, it wasn't going to increase sales. I mean, just look at it. That's why they're adding shows, because the sales and the wanting of this is so big that they didn't have to bring in a name for a drummer. Like, they're bringing in this chick who's half their age. She's kind of hot, by the way. I don't know if you
Yeah,
see.
I know. Yes,
pretty hot.
there are a lot of female drummers who are hot, by the way,
This is,
as well as female guitarists.
Would you have ever thought that this was going to happen, Brown? That Rush was going to come back? Like, obviously, Lifeson had a side project going. You remember you know that you heard of that? He's doing the side
Not
project.
that I know of. The only thing I remember is that I think in 2000, Geddy Lee had a solo record titled "My Favorite Headache" that was released that year. And I kind of figured they would start a side project, sometime a couple years after Kurt's death. But I'm kind of surprised myself. In fact, when you sent in me the announcement, you said for the first things I looked at is who's going to be the new drummer, who's going to be the new skid beater. So I looked it up and looked up the article, and it turns out her name, Anika Niles from Germany.
Yeah, this is 100% real. Like if you go on Rush's website, folks, this is no rumors. This is a full-fledged tour, a smaller tour, but it's interesting how they're doing it. These multiple dates, 4 dates in all these cities. I mean, you're getting Chicago, New York, the Garden, Madison Square Garden. You're getting no Boston shows, no Florida shows. Just definitely LA. It's very selective cities, bro. It's like 6 or 7 cities they're doing this stuff from. Toronto, I think.
Yep,
You know what
two
I'm saying?
dates
It's not like
there, I guess.
I mean, so that's what like the fans who are, they're gonna fly in and see this, and I think it's gonna be premium. Fuck it. It's either gonna be Rush is one of those bands that like give fair prices to the fans, or this is gonna be premium as hell. Like
Mm.
this is gonna be like $300 for the. And see, look, the arena, it's gonna be in Texas. It's like not big like the Nine Inch Nails arena, right? This is every seat is good in this place. I'm gonna be honest with you. Every seat. Yeah, I really can't call it nosebleeds, bro, because even those are really good view of the stage. I mean, this is really, I mean, the best arena they could have picked for sure, indoors, because this is during the summer. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna see tomorrow on the pricing and stuff, but I really do think 300 floor. I mean, are they gonna do an open GA floor? Is it gonna be all seats? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm kind of
does
surprised
Rush
that the old. Go
does
ahead.
Rush usually have a big open floor, kind of like Megadeth is known for having a big open GA floor, and obviously Priest when we went, but like,
I do not know because when I saw one clip from years ago, and it was like it was from years ago where they were doing sound check. They were performing in Limelight, and this is when Pert was still involved with them. And I checked out the seats at the arena that they were playing in, and it was a seated floor, seats on the main floor there. So definitely, I'm thinking it'll probably be that most likely. But I'm surprised that they just 2 dates at Toronto, Ontario, Scotiabank Arena, because Rush, being one of the big Canadian greats, they will have possibly more dates lined up because this is our home country. This is our pride. Canada
you're
looks
right.
highly to Rush.
How many Canadian dates do they have? Do you
Just
know?
two. But no, let me take that back. The way the
Toronto.
4 dates in Toronto on the same venue, Scotiabank Arena.
Dang, and that's the only Canadian date is Toronto. You're saying the city?
Yes, yeah, four
Oh
dates in
God.
Canada. Four
They're
dates,
gonna add
four of
some.
them.
They'll add more. They'll add more. They'll add. There's gonna.
Yeah.
They'll this if everything works out that this is gonna be like how the M72 tour was. It's not just 1 year. It's gonna be like a multi-year deal. They're gonna do a Canadian wing. I mean, they don't have any European dates. You know, they're gonna do fucking Europe, bro. Like it's gonna
Maybe
be
so.
all. That's
Yeah,
gonna be all
it's going
26,
to go
27.
on and on. It's going to go on forever without any question because,
Just
like I
like the
said, this
Pantera
is
thing.
Rush.
Just like the
and
Pantera thing.
Guns N' Roses. They're
All
still
of
on
that.
tour right now. And by the
Everything.
way,
They're all gonna keep going.
Slash did mention that he, Axel, Duff are thinking about doing a new Guns N' Roses studio album.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that, and they haven't fucking toured here in forever. But let me read the chat real quick, Brown. Let's see. Kenneth says, seen them 5 times starting in the 70s in Jacksonville Coliseums. Yeah, I mean, no offense to Kenneth, but I'm sure Rush's fan base is older. But look, rock music nowadays, it's interesting going to these shows and stuff, like whether it's the 90s stuff, 80s, 2000s, 70s, all the old stuff. Like, it's interesting to see, Brown. It's not just gray haired people. people, motherfuckers are bringing their whole family. I mean, there's grandkids, there's sons, there's grandparents. It's not just gray-haired people at these shows. Now, some of these select shows, like your
Mhm.
KK's Priest, yeah, definitely a bunch of older people there. You know what I'm saying? Like these
Oh yeah,
smaller select.
obviously.
But honestly, there's generational fan bases for all these acts still. And I see it when I go to these shows. It's multiple families going to this stuff. There's obviously couples, husband and wife
Hmm.
going. But there's
Yep, and they bring
definitely,
their kids as well, and their
yeah,
kids
there's
pick
younger
up on
people.
what their
Yeah.
parents.
Yeah.
Yes, and their
This,
kids pick, and the kids learn what their parents used to listen to, and then they jump on the wagon as well.
I mean, you really think you go to, and there's select people like Snoop Dogg and stuff, but like, your rap from the 80s and 90s concerts, if that even is a thing. Like, no, it's like it's just a bunch of old heads, a bunch of old people at uh,
Hmm.
other genres of music is probably just a select age group. Your hot new rappers of now is probably a
Hmm.
select age group. Younger people. I mean, Taylor Swift
Yeah,
is multiple generational. I mean,
yep, young and
not that I've been to
old.
her shows, but I mean, there's definitely older people, younger people listen to music. But like all this rock and roll stuff is a genre. I mean,
Hmm.
there's multiple generations. I mean, you go into the AC/DC thing, go into the Metallica thing. Obviously, this Rush thing. I mean, this is multi-generational stuff, and that's why they keep going. These people, Rush doesn't need a tour anymore. These people are millionaires. Kiss doesn't need to do any. Like these people don't need to do nothing anymore. They're set for life.
But then again, there's the need to go out and perform live. And
There is.
like I said, this is 50 years of Rush's legacy, their music. And when that time approaches, when you're reaching a certain anniversary date of your existence, like say if you and I put together a band in 2020, and 10 years later, we did realize, hey, we need to do a Music Maniacs tour
Yeah,
or a Metal Maniacs tour to celebrate 10 years of doing shows together. Think about that.
go to the
It's like
different. Go to the
everything with
yeah,
like a husband and wife. Our anniversary is coming up here. Let's make
yeah.
this one special. Let's go to the motel we used to go to when we first started dating one another.
All right, we have a lot of people talking in the chat. Let's see,
All right, there.
Buzzy said can't wait to see them play Spirit Radio. Buzzy said it's going to be expensive. It's
Oh,
going to be
yeah,
expensive.
obviously.
People are saying. I mean, look, I'm saying it's going to be 50-50, but like I'm saying, look, Rush, they don't need the money, so maybe it is going to be a fair price tour. But
Yeah,
they're booking it as many residencies because they know fans are going to fly in and see them, not in their
this is
not in
big.
their area. So like
This is big.
the fans that fly in have money, 1,000%. So they're going to pay the big ticket prices. So like it's
Yeah.
either going to be either or. Like Rush is going to be a fair band. Like I kind of thought they always were like that. I don't know, like fair prices to fans. It might be definitely other bands that do that on purpose, like fair price to fans, but where this can be like the super premium, limited, rare occasion where, yeah, just going to be like 250 nosebleed, which I'm not even going to go for. Like, honestly, if I want, I really want to be close, bro. Like, if they do a floor all GA, that's the place to be. Honestly,
Mhm.
you don't want to be in the nosebleeds for this guy. I mean, it's so different. Like, it's cool to be in the nosebleeds and to be there, but like, it's so different when you're closer. Like, holy Christ! I mean, even the Pantera thing, which we didn't really mention, but I saw Pantera a couple weeks ago, a few weeks, 3-4 weeks ago.
Yes, I remember. Yes.
And even those weren't too terribly close, but it had the best view. No assholes in front. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Rita Dime's widow was like in the section next to me.
Nice.
Um, it was definitely like it was a
And now
good
the
tour,
cool
bro. But
part, I know the cool part was when you got a photograph of Zach Wild wearing the Ultimate Warrior mask, holding all those wrestling figures at the camera, getting everybody's reaction. They was just walking
yeah,
them by.
he
I've
does
seen
he
a
always
few of
does
those.
that. He goes into the crowd, like he'll go out when people are waiting in line before the place opens. Like he'll go out and like wave at the fan. Like he's cool with that. He puts it on the social media. I mean, that's why they puts
Yeah,
all
I
this stuff
saw
on the
many of
socials.
those
So
on in the video face. I saw many of those in the Facebook video section a lot of times, which is cool of him because like Zach is, he's one of those cool guys that likes to have fun along the way, give some crazy
Mm.
answer during the interview, and of course, he'll shred the shit out of whichever guitar he's playing.
People are saying this is a cash grab in the chat. If they cared about the fans, they would shut Ticketmaster out. I mean, yeah, I
You
mean,
may
isn't
remember
every?
this. You
I
may
do agree with
remember
that.
back in the you may remember in the 90s when Pearl Jam had an issue with Ticketmaster. They were trying to conjure up some other way to keep ticket prices low, but they failed, unfortunately. They ended up, patching things up with Ticketmaster. But then again, as I mentioned in the article that I read for you, there's a lot of things that go into these tours, like the cost of the security, the cost of the catering, the limos, the tour buses, like the expenses for the motels that the bands stay in. There is a lot that goes into these tours. So you can't just cover all those costs with the $17 ticket price. No, they got to raise them up
That's
more
true.
because obviously there's a lot that goes in. There's a lot of money spent.
All
And then, like
tours are
I
cash
just read,
grabs. All tours are cash grabs. The merch, they sell T-shirts,
yeah,
merchandise.
that's expensive as well. I remember back in the '80s when I would get a shirt from a concert that was at the Joe Louis Arena. The cost of a shirt would be about, if I remember, $15. Then, boom, years later, one Iron Maiden shirt costs about $45 for crying out
Yeah,
loud. It's
that's
like,
how much
geez.
they are. They're $40 to $60 now. For a moment,
Exactly.
for a while last year, a lot of $50 T-shirts. I'm gonna be honest with you, but there's definitely 40. Your average is 40, no lower than that. Now, like the KK's Priest T-shirt, I think that was a $35 T-shirt. KK's Priest merch was like $5 cheaper than your ad. I do have to give it to KK's Priest. But everywhere it's 40 and up. Even WWE events, even on their website, where you can get $30, $29.99, whatever. Even their events, it's a $40 T-shirt. So, which it is, look, it
I
is worth it. It does
I
have
could,
stuff on the back.
you
It does
know,
have.
exactly. It's legit.
Let's
I'm
see.
afraid I can imagine what front row. We always spoke about the cost of ticket prices for the next WrestleMania, and that's whoa. Compared to that, these tickets for Rush maybe
Is that an
not even
AEW shirt you're
close.
wearing? You wearing an AEW
No,
shirt?
no, it's a AE shirt, American Eagle clothing
Oh,
brand. I saw this at one of the nearby stores when I first moved here. I figured, why as well wear it
it kind of
today
looks like
since
an
me and my
AEW
sister.
shirt, though. You could get away with
I
that at
know,
an event.
I know. It's yeah. All I have to do is put a white W next to the A&E, and probably. But then again, people probably call that bootleg.
Now, look, Tisha in the chat says she loves Rush. There's a lot of people in the chat loving this. Now, Brown, where you try to fly out and go see this somewhere?
Well, it would possibly go to. If I were to pick a state, it would have to be in Toronto, because I've been always wanting to check out Toronto altogether because I heard so much about that city. I heard it's like the Canadian equivalent to New York, where something's always
Really?
going on every
Yeah, that's where they
minute.
have the sports teams, bro. Even the Blue Jays this year just beat the Yankees last night. The Blue Jays, Toronto Blue Jays, beat the Yankees. So like, their sports right now is real hot. Like Toronto, obviously Drake, the rapper, claims
Yeah, he's
Toronto.
from Toronto. Yep, exactly. And
But
by the way,
Toronto has always been like a good rock and roll city, right? Good rock
yeah,
city.
well, a lot of bands, not just from Toronto, but all together in parts of Canada as well. I remember there are a lot of Canadian bands other than Rush, like Max Webster, their former guitarist Kim Mitchell, Saga. You remember the song "On the Loose," which was in the early 1980s. That was a humongous hit on MTV and the radio. There's also the band I often saw many times, Skitty Puppy, hailing from Vancouver, BC. Frontline Assembly, also from Vancouver as well. There's a let's not forget, of course, the Tragically Hip, which was Canada's biggest band. A lot of people were teared up when they finally said goodbye, thanks to their singer having brain cancer. I mean, there are a lot of great bands out there. Oh, Dave Rose's favorite, April Wine. He spoke about that many times before, that he was a big fan of that group.
All right, we have a person in the chat from Northwest England. DJ Paul 146, shout out to you.
All right.
A lot of ink. Listen, Rush is a worldwide loved band. I don't know why they're doing just one show in Mexico City or whatever, but they're definitely gonna have to do a world tour of this at some point. Like it's gonna be at the next. It's gonna go till like 26, 27. Maybe even the year 2028. If they do it like this, they're gonna do these small tours, but they can
I
still
think
hit
it's
all these
going to
different
happen.
places. Yeah.
I think it's going to happen, knowing how a huge influence Rush has been towards in the rock and roll circuit for many years. And plus, I know people also want to check out the new drummer as well and see how she does behind the skins in terms of paying homage to Neil Peart.
Do you
And
think it's
by the way,
appropriate? You think it's
yeah,
appropriate they call it Rush, or would you rather hear like Lee and Lifeson or something?
no, it's Rush because, like I said, like Alex, it's not just Peart; it's all three of those guys. And remember, if it's one person using the Rush name, like where it's Alex or Getty, then there would be an issue. But if it's two people, then possibly it's a good idea. And like I said, this is to celebrate Rush's 50 years in rock and roll history. And I guess right now, as they speak these words, they're
The
in
greatest. They say
rehearsals
name
right
a
now.
song they say name a song in the chat. The greatest Rush song ever is Vital Signs.
Yeah, I know that's your favorite. I remember hearing it on the radio, and plus
That
seeing the
is the
video
one,
for that.
bro. That is, and it's a deep track for sure, right? Vital
Yes, it
Signs.
is. Yeah,
Come
the
on,
last track.
you never hear that on the radio.
Yeah, exactly. The last track from Movie Pictures, the '81 album, where Tom Sawyer and Limelight came from. My favorite
We've heard Tom Sawyer, we've heard Spirit of Radio a million times on the radio. We've heard Limelight a million times on the radio.
Free
We've
Will,
heard Free Will
Closer
a
to
million
the Heart,
times on the radio. Closer to the Heart a million times. Closer to the Heart, they played probably in the top 3 on the radio. I've heard that song a lot, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
But
yeah, good song to dance with your girlfriend with.
you never hear Subdivisions, really. You never hear Vital Signs. I mean, what other songs, Brown? There's tons. They're going to play a bunch of deep stuff on this.
You should check out the song Countdown for the album Signals. That was about the landing on the moon, the Challenger explorers, all these probes going into space. That was a big thing around that time in the early 80s. So this is before the Challenger explosion in 1986, by the way. I mean, with the all these whatever they call those things, it's been so long. Forgive me for that. But Countdown was also a deep track to listen to as well. I remember the video for that track being heavily played on MTV. The Analog Kid as well. Let's not forget 2112, a concept album. Well, actually half a concept because the whole story took up the whole of side 1.
People like that album though too.
Yeah, because a lot of ways, because when you think about it, that album came out in the 70s, and it kind of like was a foretoeing of the censorship issue years down the line, the PMRC.
Really, Rush was involved. Rush was involved with that.
No, but when you look at, let me look up the album here, the 2112 for.
I think the only Rush song that you could deem like inappropriate would be that weed song. The one about they talking about weed, Bangkok. What was that song called?
I'm not too sure.
You never heard of that song?
No, I didn't.
Last Train to Bangkok, I think it's called. Oh my God, yeah, they talk about weed, marijuana in there, Brown, and that whole song, bro. Alex Lifeson's a big pothead.
Oh wow.
Um, Eddie Trunk told a story that he was in Vegas. This is like years ago though, and like Eddie Trunk gave Alex Lifeson like a half burnt joint,
Hmm.
and you would think, I don't know, Eddie Trunk was kind of like marking out or something, like, hey, if you need this, man, or something, not really knowing that, bro. Alex Lifeson probably has pounds of weed at his thing or whatever. I don't know. Like they're a big weed band, Brown. Not I don't know nothing about
Okay.
Geddy Lee, but
Got the
like
story
definitely
right
Alex
here.
Lifeson, big weed smoker, guys. Looked it up. It's real.
Okay. Okay, 2112 tell us a story set in the city of Magadan in the year 2112. After an intergalactic war in 2062, forces many of the planets to be ruled by the Solar Federation, symbolized by the red star on the album cover, where individualism and creativity are outlawed. The population is controlled by a cabal of priests living in the temples of Syrax, who take orders from giant banks of computers that control all aspects of life. As mentioned in the opening track, the temples of Syrax. An unnamed protagonist finds a guitar inside a cave and discovers the lost art of music, leading to the track Discovery. Upon playing the guitar to the priests, they destroy it and declare music a wasted time and against the computer's plan, noted in the song presentation. In a dream, an oracle shows him a planet established simultaneously with the Solar Federation, where an elder race flourish in creativity and individually. He awakens depressed that music is such a part of society that he can never be part of and kills himself. The song ends with an ambiguous spoken ending. Attention, all planets of the Solar Federation, we have assumed control. And that is repeated multiple times towards the end. Neilpert clarified that the protagonist took his own life. Afterwards, another planetary war begins, and the Elder race successfully take down the Solar Federation in an ending he described as a double surprise, a real Hitchcock killer, referring to the late Alfred Hitchcock. But imagine, being controlled where creativity, where expressing yourself is outlawed. That's how many musicians first saw the PMRC. It's like, we're not allowed to express ourselves. We're not allowed to express our angst. We're not allowed to express our love for our woman or our man. We're not allowed to say what we feel. In a way, it's censorship, no matter what, especially in the political realm. So, in a lot of ways, many people cited the PMRC as the Solar Federation.
You think Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson, you think they're on the right or they're kind of liberal on the left?
I'm not too sure myself. Not too sure. I guess that's the least of their questions right now. I think they're going to be asked in many interviews is how you think more open days will be added on, or how is things working with the new drummer, and
I want
what role.
fucking Geddy Lee's opinion on Donald Trump right now. It's the number one question I want them to be.
I don't know. I never had a brew. I never had a conversation with Geddy Lee himself, other than Geddy Lee's Al knows, so I'm surprised it's not on the call. And Buzzy says they're left big time there.
30, really? Yeah, see, this definitely, yeah. Had to ask that one.
Mm.
Regardless, um, do you think now they say something about 35 songs? They're picking from 35 songs. Is it they're gonna play all 35 songs because they're saying it's gonna be a 2 hour set. I guess usually Rush has like 3 hour longer sets.
Hmm.
I don't see anything where there's gonna be an opening band
Oh yeah,
either.
just them and them only. Yes,
Yeah,
an
'cause they're
evening
saying an
with Rush, I
evening.
guess to say.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. They're doing the whole evening thing, so that's pretty cool. Like no bullshit, straight to it.
The Cure did
Um,
that on one tour, as well as Pink Floyd on multiple times, and Roger Waters included on that.
Roger Waters open for Pink Floyd. No,
No, no, this no, but but I get where you're coming from.
no, that could be.
Well,
Look, there was wasn't there stuff in like other bands like I keep going back to David Lee Roth, but like I
mhm.
mean he opened for Kiss, but once,
Yep,
a few times, but like you
and
know,
Bad Company when they came back together in the '90s.
well technically George Lynch does it with Dawkins nowadays.
Mhm.
Kind
Mhm.
of like he'll open. I mean, definitely when I saw him the first time, like it was a Lynch Mob George Lynch solo set, and then
Mhm.
Dawkins, and then he came on to do like three songs at the end. So
Yeah,
that's
with
like a
Don.
weird, you know what I'm saying? It's a weird, yeah. It's like a, like this is gonna
But either
be,
way,
this is definitely gonna be the biggest tour. Like there's always every year going to these concerts. Like there's always stronger years than others. Like 2024 was way stronger than 25, but 25, Gene Simmons canceled. You had the big Aerosmith cancel. So like there was a
yeah,
lot of stuff canceled that was still big, but still seeing AC/DC this year was huge. But I don't know that
yep.
Bruce Dickinson solo show. I'm still
I know
saying
it's still buzzing on that there.
yeah, anything that has to do with Maiden or Bruce Dickinson live
Speaking
is
of
like the
Bruce
best, the best
Dickinson,
of the
you
best. You saw
sent
that?
me a yes, I saw the clip, yo. Bruce Dickinson singing the American national anthem, which he did damn well, very damn well. He was able to hit all the highs and ends of that song, of that anthem. Not
Yeah,
many people
you
are.
heard it, huh?
Yes, I did. I did indeed. And this is surprising because, as we all know, Bruce Dickinson hails from England.
Yeah, he did the one for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then he did this one for the LA Kings, Cocky. But he said, I heard him in an interview. I think he was with. Did you hear the interview with Dickinson and Chris Jericho? By the way.
No, he did not. Yo, I
Oh,
got
so
to
good.
check
Well, it
that
came
out
out last
sometime.
week. I think I sent it to you, but yeah, it's on Chris Jericho's channel on YouTube. But
Mhm. Yeah.
because he does a show and he interviews. He does an
Talk
interview show.
is
So
Jericho.
Talk is Jericho. So yeah, he interviewed Dickinson, and Dickinson said, "Nah, like it's not going to be a regular thing where he shows up in every city and does the national anthem. It was just like, he doesn't want because he would say he doesn't want to do that. Like he doesn't want to do it might be cheesy or something, but like
Yeah.
he got asked to do it, and
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying?
He
That's the
did
best
it.
of the best right there. Bruce Dickinson is the best of the best. Any Iron
When it
Maiden
comes.
show, our
Yep.
Bruce Dickinson solo show, like that's the best live entertainment, live rock concert, live metal. That is the
Live.
number one in my
One of the
book.
badass singers, including Rob Halford himself.
I think Maiden is better than fucking Metallica live, bro. And Metallica live is number one up there and everything, right? But like, bro, Iron Maiden is such and really Bruce Dickinson, they're in such a different lane. They're in a whole different universe. I'm telling you guys, like they really are the best of the best. We do cover Dickinson here a lot and Maiden here a lot and everything, but Brian, you gotta try to go to one of these Toronto shows for this Rush thing. Can't believe they're doing not even no Miami, no Florida, no Atlanta, Georgia, no like it must not be that. I don't know. Like, what's the biggest city in Florida? Like Miami?
I think it's so. The most notable city in Florida is always been Miami. Since the Reputation, the Miami Vice TV show that was filmed there for a few years. I mean, like, plus Love and Hip Hop Miami included as well. And like Miami's considered the main hotspot.
Amazing. Well, Brown, can you want to plug your DJ sets again for the people watching, so you can tune that
All
in?
right there.
Tune in
All
for
right
that.
there. Okay, so let me run down what's coming up for my channel this weekend. I'm recording this, and this will be premiering tomorrow evening on my channel. So definitely look for that, folks. Plus, later on in the evening, when I get home from work, I'll be live with Prince Idol. And yes, YR, you are welcome to join in as well. We'll be talking a whole range of different discussions, some drama, some music related. So definitely, like I said, you're welcome to join in as well. This will be happening after 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And of course, Saturday night, my first hardcore techno set will be premiering on my channel. That'll be at 9 p.m. same time zone. And on Sunday night, when I get home from my work at 11 p.m. same time zone, I'll be doing a new soundscape set, dark soundscape set, I meant to say. It'll be
Dark.
live on my channel. Dark, very dark there. Now, always count on me to take everybody through a good realm of pure audio darkness.
And you have the visuals too up there, right?
Yep, always.
You
I
put up
got, in
the
fact, yep, I got a lot of
you
visuals as well planned for
get a little
for
weird on
what's
the
coming
weekends
up.
with the DJ sets, guys. Weird in a good
Yeah,
way. I mean, if you like some weird sounds, some dark sounds,
crazy
you know,
sounds. Either way,
crazy
I,
sounds.
yeah, come knock on my door.
It's the Dr. Earl W. Brown channel, ladies and gentlemen. Please subscribe to it right now. And
Yeah, that's it. Do
obviously
so,
tonight,
everybody.
this Rush show is huge, guys. The Rush, four
Rush
dates
tour,
in each city.
I expect, and I think we'll agree that more dates will definitely be added on after
Yes.
these cities are played, because this is big, very very big. All right, I guess this concludes our episode, if I'm correct.
Yeah, we would like to close it out, brother.
Okay, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, Music Maniacs, and always look for me and YR live on this circuit, live on this platform each week. And
Look, the
once again, we'll see you weekend.
yeah, we'll have updates on the ticket prices for Rush next week. It's coming out
All
tomorrow
right
and
there.
everything. So we're gonna have some updates on that for sure. Stay tuned to the channels. All Rock Entertainment news updates, folks. Dr. Earl
Mm-hmm.
W. Brown. We covered a lot. All the Kiss injuries, Gene Simmons injury, Ace Frehley injuries. Covered a lot tonight, folks. But
We did, yes.
The Rush thing is so big. I mean, even look, the Gene Simmons thing was huge. It was on TMZ, for Christ's sake. So I
Oh
mean, a
yeah.
lot of news tonight. It was a lot. But Dr.
But the
Brown,
thing
thank you.
I want
Yeah.
to think, I want to throw the thing I want to know is why they reported that Shannon Tweed Simmons should not be behind the wheel, because that gave me first the impression that she was the one driving when they had that accident.
Yeah, or like Gene Simmons had a stroke or something.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I'm just glad
Fentanyl.
Gene is okay, but there's going to be some legal issues afterwards, without a question.
Thank you. All right, Brown. Well, thank you for being out here.
All right, thank you as well, what my man YR.
All right, my brother.
And
Thank you, brother.
we're ready to roll. Thank you. Take care. All right, take care,
All right,
everybody. We'll
guys.
see you next time.
Thank you.
Mhm.